What's up, y'all? Jay Spruill, movies, music, sports, and life. And man, the boys picked a weird time, man. Like when it comes to Power, Book 2, Ghost, or y'all know I'm not a big fan of Force or Raising Kanan. You know that if they say it comes on Friday, that means 12 o'clock midnight. So that's technically still Thursday. We can all agree on that. That's not really Friday yet. You know, you 1 minute past Friday. I mean Thursday. You still in Thursday. But when the start time is 3 a.m., yeah, it's definitely the next day. And when I saw that episode 5 was coming out at 3 a.m., man, I tried my best to set my alarm clock. Man, I went back to sleep so quick. I just couldn't do it, man. I couldn't stay up to 3 o'clock a.m. And y'all know I'm a teacher, so summertime I should be able to do it because I don't got to get up early for work. You know, I don't go back to work until the fall time, but 3 a.m. was just too awkward of a time. So, man, I end up waking up at 7, so that's like 4 hours later. And I go on my Amazon Prime and I look and I see a thumbnail of Stan Edgar, Juan Carlo Esposito, and I almost screamed like an 8th grade girl. Ah! You know, I was so happy. But let's get into the episode, man. It was a long episode. It was a weird episode, so I'm not sure if I really liked it, loved it, or didn't like it. That doesn't make any sense for me not to know, but at any rate, we start out at the D23 conference, aka Disney 23. I don't know why they call it 23, but it's every year is D23. So this year is D23 2004. And that's when anything associated with Disney, they let you know what's coming out. And they own a lot of stuff. So anything Star Wars related, I guess technically anything Marvel related. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like either Disney purchased Marvel or they have a partnership with Marvel now. So those pretty much are just, it's a lot of other stuff that wouldn't interest you guys, but D23 mainly is known for the trailers of the TV shows, the streaming shows, the movies that are coming out. Even if the movie is 2 years out, they'll still premiere it and it gets a lot of response. So they're doing what they call it, V52, and it's their expo. It's just like Comic-Con. Everybody looks so happy and clapping to be there until we see Homelander. And Homelander has a look, and he's just like completely out of it. Like the minute you see his face, the first question you asking yourself is like, is he gonna kill everybody in the arena? Sister Sage goes over to talk to him, and it's like he's twitching. Like the man is literally, I just feel like he's insane now. And nobody's gonna say it, but yeah, that man is losing his mind. Sister Sage even looked scared. She never said she was scared, but she looked, and he literally did have a flashback of the people who he killed last episode. So, go back to the hospital. Huey's mom casually admits that she put the compound V into Huey's dad, and I thought that's what you wanted. I mean, well, why else would you break it? People, there is nothing worse in life than making a choice for somebody. Consent, mental health, safe space, toxic. all of that stuff is just buzzwords of the past 5 years. But consent is a real thing when you take away somebody's choice. Yeah, initially, my plan was to go down there and jab my dad with compound V like it's the COVID vaccine. But somewhere in there, I changed my mind and decided that it's not right. If my dad is going to pass away, it's not my right to extend his life. And then you took that choice from me by injecting it with him, and it has some terrible side effects that we're going to get into later. Starlight sees herself, well, not sees herself, she's literally in the middle of her headquarters being trashed by the firecracker followers, and she says, I'm suing Starlight on TV for getting beat up like that. What you do? What's this? Oh, they show a brief scene of Mother's Milk at his ex-wife's house, trying to intervene, trying to do an intervention with his daughter. He tells his daughter, you can't beat people up to solve your problems. She says, why not? Isn't that what you do? And then she walks off. And his wife says, fix this now. And I thought that was strange, because what exactly is he going to do to fix it? And how can it be fixed right now? Like nothing about that was logical. You know? Switch to the scenes, and they at boys' headquarters. And Mother's Milk just flat out asks Butcher, how did you kill Ezekiel? And this is one of those situations where he answered truthfully, but just based on his reputation, who's gonna believe it? He says, I don't know how I did it. But he said, but basically I know how we can kill some more Supes. And they like, oh, I'm listening, how? And he said the people over there at God U have a virus that can kill Supes. We're gonna go get it. So they transitioned to some movie called Lord Soldier. And ironically, Firecracker got on some Daisy Dukes, leaning down to a statue of Jesus. I don't think Jesus would approve of your attire. You know, but as they're showing that trailer at V52, Sister Sage walks up to A-Train. And this is the first time they've ever shown these two interacting. And she says, he asks her, how you doing? You look kind of down. She said, I'm still trying to plug this leak, who leaked that footage. He got real awkward. And then she says, the footage just didn't run itself out of crime analytics. Of course, she's using a euphemism, but that's not just a euphemism. She's literally saying what A-Train did, and somehow, of course, they're not going to show us, but Sage knows that A-Train did it. I guess her power of deduction or reasoning, being the smartest person in the world, she knows. It just doesn't give her any advantage to tell him straight out that she knows. So I guess instead of just going straight to Guy U to get it, Butcher has the idea, I need my guy Esposito, aka Stan Edgar. And so he comes out of the jail and just classic acting. Gentlemen, I have a pottery class at 2. So in other words, like make this quick. Like, what do you bother me for? And so Butcher tells him what he's trying to do. He says no. Something to the effect of, I'm still going to protect Victoria. He said, but she sold you out. You cunt. She sold you out. And then he said, my daughter did what I taught her how to do. I taught my daughter how to survive and maneuver like that. So how could I be mad? You know, I raised her. And then he turned his back to walk back to his pottery class. And then Butcher was smart enough to tell her, yeah, but I bet you didn't know that she was going to turn Zoe into a monster. And he like froze, because now he's upset. So they get him out of jail. And before he gets on the boys' Scooby-Doo mystery van to go on their mission, he said, can I have a towel for my seat, please? Basically just like, yeah, you guys are beneath me. Like, you guys are filthy. So Victoria Newman shows up. She's angry. And she says, give me a good reason why I shouldn't turn this whole room red right now. And sometimes you forget that Newman has the powers to pop everybody's head, because she doesn't wear a superhero outfit. She doesn't really brag about her powers like that. She's just very straightforward. Like, I'll do this. And I think that Stan Edgar's superpower is he isn't afraid of anything. And he can talk to you in a way. He has the power of persuasion. He can make everything sound like it's to your benefit. And he tells her, okay, killing them may expose you as a suit, which you don't want. But they have a pretty good track record of getting stuff done. You might want to use it. So, go to a next scene. The producer, the director of all the Vought superhero movies and TV shows they do, he's sexually harassing his production assistant. In the business, they call it a PA. You know, she's a pretty Asian girl, and he's sexually harassing her. And Homelander is telling Ryan that he should do something about it. But you could tell it isn't just kill him. Because, you know, Homelander went on trial for that. So even though he's a superhero, he still went on trial for it, and he beat the case. But he realizes just can't go around killing somebody every time they do something that we don't like. So he tells Ryan to kind of check him. And then he told him, he was like, is he making you uncomfortable? And she was like, hey, feel free to say so. Like, you're not going to get in trouble. He was like, yes, he is. He was like, I think you should apologize. He said, I'm sorry. And then Homelander whispers something to him, and Ryan kind of does the devilish grin. And he was like, I don't think you're being sincere. I don't think you believe, I don't think we believe you. Why don't you go ahead and smack him in the face? She, bam, smacks him. And he says, again. And he's like drinking this shake. And then you can see Ryan is enjoying this because it's his way of being a good guy. I'm getting justice for somebody that's being oppressed. But at the same time, you still know it's kind of devious and how that thin line that Homelander is kind of turning Ryan out without Ryan really being old enough or experienced enough to know it, that I'm allowing my dad to change me. And just took the man's wallet and car keys. And still basically refused to do the show that he wanted Ryan to do. So Esposito, aka Stan Edgar, confronts Newman. Basically, how could you do that to my granddaughter? And She said, well, you gave powers to me. And he was like, that was to protect you, or something like that. Oh, or she said something about the fact that she had to hide in the shadows. And he said that was to protect you. He said, no, it was because you were ashamed of me. And my daughter will never have to live like that. Well, that was kind of confusing, because if you give your daughter V and she's already killed 3 agents, don't you think it's going to get out eventually that she has the nasty tentacles from her mouth powers? I don't know. Then we have a situation where the chickens are killing people, and they realize that they've injected the chickens with V. And Butcher says, well, that you didn't tell me you had the Kentucky Fried Massacre back there. And they switch to the next scene. Ashley gets dumped by the guy that works for Vought. And he basically tells her, yeah, I like being dominated by you when you were second in command, but, you know, since Homelander and Sister Sage fired you basically and just let you stay on board even though they fired you, you're not pegging me and you're not doing any of this dominatrix stuff to me, because, you know, I'm not attracted to you anymore because you don't have any power. And that was kind of a role reversal, because they say usually that women want people with power, but he kind of put it on her. Newman starts talking to Starlight, and she said, I see you having a little projectile dysfunction. And she just punches her. And Newman doesn't pop her head. I'm not sure what the game plan with that was, or what the end game was, but she kind of was going to Starlight's insecurities, because she can't power up, and emotionally she can't control herself anymore. So she's kind of having a break now. So they go back to the hospital. Stewie's dad has killed a nurse. He has a heart in his hand. He can't remember who he just killed or why. He can't remember who Huey is. Then he killed another patient by accident. He's doing this transmorphing thing where he can just walk through walls. Then he killed a police officer on purpose for pulling a gun on him. And you can just tell Huey just knows even bringing the Compound V to the hospital was a grave mistake, because even if he had the so-called righteous intentions of not giving it to him, his mom gave it to him anyway. And now you got like a Alzheimer's reverse flash. It's not going well for anybody. So we back at V52. I actually already talked about that. Back at V52, and Homelander kind of turning Ryan into himself. Frenchie opens up to Starlight about how he kind of is losing his religion and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden you see flying sheep tear a bull apart. And they are like tripping off of that. After they escape from those sheep, we meet Celine, who is Newman's baby daddy. I doubt they ever got married, but that's Zoe's father. And he's a scientist. And supposedly he is the one who developed this V virus that they've been he knows how to make the V virus. So I think they were injecting V into the sheep and animals for another purpose. So back at the hospital again, Dad is getting ready to kill Huey's mom, but he stops him. And he reminds him of the childhood memory of him taking him to buy the Tech Knight doll and all that. And he stopped him. So they were going to take Stan Edgar to jail. I apologize. Okay. So when they had the sheep that were on V, they came up with the idea, we're gonna put the compound V virus, the soup virus, we're gonna put it in the dead body, put it out there for the sheep, let the sheep tear it apart and eat it, and then they'll have the virus. And it worked, because the sheep broke into the barn and they were ready to kill everybody, but then they started, blowing chunks and hurling, and then they died. So that's how they know that soup virus actually works. So because that was the last batch of the virus, he kind of reneged on his deal. Butcher reneged on his deal with Stan EDGAR and said, okay, well, I don't have a virus now, so you go back to jail. But Newman popped the head of the man that was driving him back to jail, and I guess she's going to hide him somewhere. So Ashley sets up her ex-boyfriend who dumped her as the one who leaked the footage and spoiled Homelander plans. But the thing about it is, while they were tearing him apart and stomping him and killing him, Sister Sage looks right at A-Train. So her looking right at A-Train, dude, she's still telling him, I still know that you are the one that did it. And he is so scared because A-Train really doesn't have powers like that to kill people. I guess he could run through her when she isn't looking and make her body explode. But he can't do that because she's Homelander's second in command. So he's just kind of stuck. And then finally they revealed that Butcher kidnapped Celine, Newman's boyfriend, cut off his leg, and is going to make him some of that formula in order to go after Homelander and kill Zeus. So I apologize if this one was 20 minutes, but it was kind of an awkward episode, and it was just a lot of different moving parts. But hey, look at it this way. It could have been 25 minutes. It was only 22. Movies, music, sports, and life. We out of here.